Raise your hand if you're going through some kind of change right now. And raise your hand if you know somebody that's going through an even bigger change right now. Okay, I think we all feel it. We're going through it. And raise your hand if you're the kind of person that wants to know why. Why is this happening, right? Why is this happening to me, and why is it happening now? This question is what has propelled me on a journey myself of trying to figure out not just why, but how. You see, working with governments and countries and big organizations and now people for the last 7 years, what I found is that almost everyone says they hate change. How many of you feel like you hate change? How many of you love change? Ah, you guys are my people. That's why we're here, right? So my message today is about your purpose, and it's about your purpose as a change leader. And we are all called to lead by example in these times. And today I'm going to share with you 3 things that are going to happen when the sleeping phoenix awakens. How many of you have heard of the term sleeping phoenix? And how many of you know what it is? Okay, it's really, I mean, gosh, there's a lot of people here that probably know way more about this than I do. So there's lots of answers to what is the sleeping phoenix. I am going to share with you the things that I've learned about the sleeping phoenix as an energy archetype. It happens to be the one that I carry. How many of you have heard of an incarnation cross? Raise your hand. Okay, anyone here go to the live event that we held last week? Your incarnation cross and the 2027 prophecy, what you need to know. Anybody? Okay, we did this as a preparation for leading people here and leading people to this event, because this event is all about, as you know, change, right? We are all change agents. And it's been my journey to try to understand what is about to happen. So there is this prophecy. How many of you have heard of human design? Excellent. And how many of you know your human design? A lot of you do. That's awesome. So there is a prophecy. In 2027, the sleeping phoenix is going to awaken. Today I'm going to share with you 3 things that are going to happen that are already in fact happening, and they help answer the question, who are you, what are you here for, and why is this happening now? This story started for me when I was in the kitchen. I was making dinner, and my husband at the time was in the kitchen with me, and all of a sudden I felt a cold, hard knife on the back of my neck. And I spun around and I was like, what are you doing? It was the freakiest thing. It had never been violent. Certainly nothing like that. I was so shocked. But here's the crazy thing. There was nothing there. I looked into his eyes and there was just nothing there. It was so creepy. So I didn't know what to do with that, and I perhaps foolishly just didn't do anything. And as I got into bed that night, I thought to myself, what if he kills me in my sleep? And then right away I thought, that's fine, as long as it's quick and easy, like I'm done. How many of you have ever been feeling like you're just done, right? I'm so done. Like, I'm done with the pain. I'm done with the hassle. I'm done with I don't get it. Like, just, I'm done. That's how I felt. I was really ready to check out. And I told my sister about what happened. She's like, get out, go get a lawyer. She got really upset. So thankfully she had that reaction, because otherwise I was so much in shock, I probably would have stayed. So I get a lawyer. The lawyer says, pack a bag, put it in your suitcase. Put your suitcase in your trunk, and just drive away to work and don't ever come back. I had an unusual opportunity that very night to do just that. So I'm running around the house and packing, and what do you do when you think you only have 2 hours to pack everything into a little suitcase? Anybody ever been in that situation? So weird, right? Call my brother. He's like, get your pictures off your computer because you'll never get those back. So I'm rushing around. I'm in a panic. I get in the car. I go to work, and I'm sitting in the parking lot of the dentist. It was an early morning dentist appointment. It was my reason for leaving early. And I'm shaking, and I call my friend and I say, I finally left and I don't know what to do. Thankfully, she said, come over. and we'll figure it out. Just come over after work. So I did, came over. That led me to something that changed my life. So I ended up moving in with these friends. I lived with them for 3 years, and the experience absolutely changed my life, and it explained so many things about how life works that I had no idea about. Anyone else had a really dramatic experience like that? I've been thinking maybe it was in the eclipse window. I should look that up. Just all of a sudden everything changed. I thought I had a marriage, I thought I had a house, like everything, all gone just in a moment. So if you are like that, how many of you have had some kind of like dramatic thing that's just shifted your life completely? Almost everyone has. So what I want to share with you is that why is this happening to you, and why is it happening now? So the first thing is the background frequencies are changing. In human design, the prophecy is by Ra-Uru-Hu. It's more than 30 years ago that he got this download, all this crazy information, which basically tells this story. And this is what fascinated me about it. Here's the summary bottom line. Everybody ready for just the bottom line?
Yes.
Yes. Here it is. You are not broken, and you never have been. You're perfect the way you are. You're perfectly designed to be and do exactly what you came here to do. And I know that you are here to do some important work. We all know it, right? We feel it. That's why we're drawn here together now. So according to the 2027 prophecy, there's 3 things that I'm going to share with you. One is the background frequencies are changing. For 410 years, we've all been conditioned by a frequency that's essentially about sameness. It's the reason we all grew up with the same idea. Oh, I have to get a good job. I have to go to school. I have to get married. I have to have 2.4 kids. I got to have a white picket fence, like a silver, black, or white car, right? Maybe red or blue if you're really daring. And why do we feel this pressure towards sameness? Here's the answer according to human design. We are all conditioned through the neutrino field by 4 background frequencies. And for the last 410 years, the frequencies have been supporting an energy of sameness. It's called the cross of planning. Anybody here a cross of planning in your human design? It's just 4 energy patterns that make up the 70% of what you're here to be and do. It's pretty fascinating just looking at it, and you can get the most important things for free. We offer it, whatsmychart.com. You can pull yours up. But so the first thing is the background frequencies are changing. They're changing from this energy of sameness to, guess what? Individuality. Go figure, right? This is the reason why you've been feeling called towards this calling that you've always had in your heart, and you didn't understand what exactly you were here to do. Here's the answer. You are here on your number 1 mission in life, which, guess what it is? It's to be yourself. Yeah, it's pretty simple, right? Just to be yourself. But what does that mean? So according to human design, we all carry these patterns, and there's certain things that we're here to master, that we have consistent access to our entire lives. And then there's all these other things that we're here to become wise about. It's like a map. It's like a plot lines for a play. If your life was a play, and guess what? I kind of think it is. We're all on this stage of our life, and guess what? I've called all of you in to be part of my play, my stage, right? And you've called me in. We've called each other in, so we're in this together. And I believe that we are in this together this weekend because we're all here to be change agents. And we're all here to lead by example. So as these background frequencies change from sameness to individuation, they change to what is called the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which happens to be my cross, the 4 energy patterns that I carry. And so what they really represent is constant cycles of rapid change. Isn't that interesting? And what have we all been going through lately? Constant cycles of rapid change. Guess what? It's only going to get, I'm not going to say worse, it's going to get more intense. Cycles of rapid change for another 410 years. So that's what we have to look forward to. And these energy patterns cross in 2027. If you're here, you already know that energy is not just like necessarily, I mean, it is amplified at certain points in time. But it's when you're talking about energy patterns over long periods of time, there's a process, right? So that's what we're in. So these background frequencies that are affecting all of us, they're affecting how we see ourselves, how we live, how we experience the energy that's consistent within us throughout our lifetime. It is changing from sameness to individuation, which means that there's going to be more support for you being and doing exactly what you're here to be and do. Isn't that great news? That means you are fully supported. That means you can stand and do what it is that you're here to do, even if nobody else, and in fact, when nobody else is doing it, that is what you're called to do. So the first thing is those background frequencies are changing. The second thing is we are actually going through a human upgrade. How many of you believe that we could have cycles of, what's the word? Evolution. Thank you. I heard it. I felt it. Evolution. How many of you feel like it's true? We could be going through a cycle of evolution. This is what I believe. Joe, you were talking about what's been happening to you. I believe that we're going through a DNA upgrade right now. How many of you believe that? Other people see it too, right? So we're going through this upgrade. It's explained in Gene Keys, which is by Richard Rudd, which is a part of human design. He's one of the original students of Ra Uru Hu, the founder of human design. And so he tells us that besides the background frequencies changing, and they'll completely shift in 2027, and that's what we're moving towards, the second thing is that we are going through an energetic upgrade. So what does that mean? There's a lot of detail around it, and we do not have time to go into all of it, but the biggest single thing is called the solar plexus mutation. Now, what does that mean? It means that the way that we understand emotion, the way that we feel ourselves and others is changing. And guess what? It's getting a lot more sensitive. So if you were ever wondering, how are we going to all get along the way we are? Imagine if the background frequencies are shifting and now we have support for individuation, and we're all going through what's called the solar plexus mutation, which means our energetic light bodies are going through an upgrade. It means we're going to be more sensitive. And I can't not feel your pain if we're connected. And so we all know that we're connected now, and some of us are more sensitive than others to feel it. But as we move forward, according to this prophecy by Ra Uru Hu, we're all going to get a lot more sensitive. So it means that we are going to feel it more, which means that we are going to feel that one mind and experience it way more and different than we ever have before, because our light bodies are different. And the last thing, and this is perhaps the most exciting for each of us, is we play an important part. And so based on your human design, you have a role in what I call the new paradigm or the new earth. How many of you are actively building the new earth? Like you feel like that's what you're here for? A lot of people, right? We are here. We are the ones that we have been waiting for, like Shannon says. So the good news is we all play an amazing role. So raise your hand again if you've done your human design before. Good, some of you, okay, you have. So you may know this. The majority of us are called builder types. Traditional human design would be generators. What that means is we're all here to do. We're here to do something. We're here to build, create. But it's actually to do. It's an action verb. 70% of us are here to be the action takers, like we're the ones doing things. And what about the other 30%?
Could you have them raise their hands? I'd like to see.
How many of you know you're a generator type or a builder type? Raise your hand. Okay. And how many of you know that you're a projector orchestrator type? Ah, okay. Okay, good. And how many of you are a trailblazer or initiator or a manifestor type? Okay. And then how many of you, any reflectors in the room? Oh, we have a reflector. Nice. Okay. So reflectors are rare, 1%. Generator types are 70%. The majority of us are here to build. So my point is, we are here with a special role. We're literally configured to do, 70% of us, what we find satisfying. What is that? What does it look like for you? What is it that you're doing at 2 o'clock in the morning that if I were to call you and we were supposed to go somewhere the next day and I'm like, what are you doing? You're still up? And you're like, yes, but I'm having so much fun. I'm doing this thing. What is that thing? I'm not saying it's the only thing that you're here to do, but that thing, if you're a generator type, is an indication of what you're here to be and do, because you're here to do the things that you find satisfying. So you're doers, and so the other 30%, you guys are beers. Yay! Yay for the beers, right? And so what does that mean? This is, when I work with people to look at their human design, your life purpose, your map, what are you here for? The biggest ahas usually come from the projectors. Why? Projectors make up 20%, 21%, or I call them orchestrators, 21%. And why is that it's such an aha for orchestrators? Because you guys don't fit in, right? But why don't you fit in? It's because you're here to guide us into new ways of living, working, and being, right? Which are intuitive to you and natural, but for the rest of us, we're like, what? You mean I'm not going to be rewarded for what I'm doing? What? I'm going to be rewarded for being? What does that mean? I don't even know how to do that, right? As a manifesting generator or express builder, how many are like me? Express builders, manifesting generators? Anybody know your type? Okay, so those of us who raised our hands, we are the ones that are here to provide the shortcuts to help people get there further, faster. So we all play a role. The manifestors are here to start new things. The builder types or generators are here to actually keep them going. Operations, my partner Owen is amazing for operations. He's a generator type. He loves operations. He does it so good. And I skip steps all the time, much to his frustration. But why? Because I can. Because I intuitively know what things can be skipped. Now, it doesn't mean I don't have to go back and do them later. That happens too. But we play a different role. And so the reflectors play an important role of helping us see if our community is safe and comfortable and healthy. And the projectors show us what we're here to be, how we can be in well-being. Projectors are here to hold an energetic field, right? How many understand holding a field? Yeah, a lot of people do here, but most people don't understand that. So orchestrator types usually have the biggest ahas because when they find out that they're going to be leading, leading as we move to 2027, a lot of things are supposed to shift according to the prophecy. Our whole social order is going to shift because we're literally being hardwired differently. All of the way that we understand ourselves and others is going to shift. And it's going to shift from being to doing. That's a big part of it. And so each of us, we play an important role. So the message here is you are perfectly designed to be and do exactly what you're here to be and do. There's no mistakes. And everything can be explained to Joe. You're asking why this, why that. It can be explained in your chart because it answers all the questions. What are the lessons that you're here to learn? What are the things you're here to master? And you have a lifetime to do it, so there's no rush, right? You can just do it when you do it, but it's a process. To summarize, there's those three things. One, why do we have hope for the future? Why do we know that things are going to change in a really good, positive way? Because the background frequencies are going to support us in being uniquely ourselves and listening to our own internal guidance system, which is different than listening to all the external stuff. Two, see, the background frequencies are changing. Oh yeah, our solar plexus mutation. We are literally in the process of DNA mutation right now, and so many of us can feel it. That's a thing, it's happening, and it's going to change the way we relate to each other. And the last thing is we are all here to be ourselves. And by being ourselves, we play an important and irreplaceable part in this amazing cosmic journey that we're on together. So I want to encourage you to be unapologetic, be unafraid, be courageously and beautifully you, and don't let anyone tell you that you need to be anything but that. Life Purpose Summary tells you the 4 most important things that you need to know about being yourself. Those are the 3 big changes. This is what's going to happen when the sleeping phoenix awakens. You have it within you. It's an energy pattern, and it's more permission to be yourself. That's what it is. Permission to be human and permission to be you. Thank you. What's my chart.com?